California. So my first question is, what does that mean and how do you get that job?
I am the Labor Commissioner of California, and that means that I work for you. I work for everybody in the state of California. And my job is to make sure that everybody who goes to work every day gets treated, bless you, with dignity and respect when they're at work, and they get paid everything that they're owed for all the work that they do. So in California, there are laws that protect working people. And if you go to work, you have to get paid at least $8 an hour for your work. So you can't pay somebody just $6 an hour. You can't pay them just $3 an hour. You have to give them at least $8 an hour for every hour that they work in the day. And if they work over 8 hours, you have to give them $12 an hour for the extra time that they work. So my job is to make sure that's happening, that every workplace has fair treatment of their workers. And I got that job when Governor Jerry Brown became the governor, and he asked me if I would take a job in his administration. And this is the piece of paper that shows that he appointed me for the job. So do you see? It says, I, Edmund G. Brown, that's the governor's name, governor of the state of California, in the name and by the authority of the people of the state of California, do by these presidents appoint and commission. This is my name. Can you see my name? And this is my title. And what's important is down here it has, can you tell what that is? It's the Great Seal of the state of California. So in 4th grade, when you study California, you'll learn all about what this seal represents. But this is an official document for the state that says that I'm the Labor Commissioner.
Okay. So let's move on to the next questions. What was your favorite thing about growing up in Cerritos, California? And what was it about growing up in Cerritos what you got to where you are today?
I feel very lucky that I grew up in Cerritos. My parents immigrated to the United States, and my mother came over on a ship that she was on for about 30 days because she was very poor, so she couldn't buy a plane ticket to come here. So she came with really big hopes that she would have a better life. And she met my dad, and then I was born in Wisconsin, but when we came over here to California, my parents bought a house in Cerritos, and at that time there were a lot of cows that lived in Cerritos. It was a bunch of dairy farms, and it was just a really safe place to grow up. They had really good schools, just like you do now, and I was very lucky to go to a school where I felt like I was really excited to learn, and the teachers were very supportive, and it made me love learning and love to read and really want to do something important with my life because I had really good opportunities. And I also love Cerritos because it's a diverse place, so you see all kinds of different people, right? People from different parts of the world, all kinds of people of different races, and I feel like that made me very comfortable with all kinds of different people. And that helped me a lot in all the work I was able to do later because I felt like everybody should be able to live with each other and understand each other, and everybody should be treated well regardless of your race or whether you're a girl or a boy or whether you work sewing garments or whether you're the president of a big company.
After you graduated from law school, why did you pick the kind of work that you did?
So I went to law school because I grew up doing a lot of translating for my parents because my parents didn't speak English really well. And I learned that it's very, very important to be able to speak a language because if you can do that, then you can do, it's like doors opening up for you, right? If you can speak a language. And as I grew older and I was in college and then in law school, I realized that laws are like a language, right? They're the laws that tell you if you have a right to something, right? Like you have a right to a good education, to go to school, right? And like I was saying before, you have a right to be paid when you go to work, right? Your boss can't just say to you, oh, I don't feel like paying you today, so I'm not going to give you any money today, and you just have to go home after you did all this work for me. You can't do that, right? And all those rules are kind of language. And I felt like people who knew the language had all these doors open up to them. And people who didn't know the language, who didn't understand the law, who didn't know that they had rights, all those doors were closed to them, and they were left out in the cold. So I wanted to go to law school so I could learn the language and help people who didn't speak law, who didn't know the law, who didn't know that they were protected. And so that's why I became a civil rights attorney, and I worked at a nonprofit organization in Los Angeles where I fought for people's rights as a lawyer.
What can we do, the average 8 and 9-year-olds in school, to make sure that things like this don't happen again?
Well, I am so glad you asked that question, McKenna, because it shows me that it gives me a lot of hope. It makes me think that if your generation really cares about this issue and cares about workers being treated fairly and cares about the clothes that you buy, and I think you would say, wait a minute, I don't want to buy a shirt that's made by workers who are treated like animals trapped in a cage, right? I think you would say, I don't care how pretty that top is. I don't want that top unless the person whose hands actually sewed it was treated with respect and was treated with dignity and was treated like a person should be treated. And I think the fact that you're asking these questions and educating your classmates about it means that people will take action to care about the workers who make the clothes that we wear. And I think if you go to a store and you want to buy clothes, it's important to ask. Ask the person who's selling you the clothes, who made this garment? I want to know who made it, and I want to know how much she was paid, right? I want to know if she was treated well. Because when I go and wear this to my party or to my school, I want to know if that worker's child gets to go to parties and gets to go to school too. And if you ask those questions, I think it will make conditions better for people in the world. So I appreciate what you're doing, McKenna, because I think you're helping me and helping those workers to raise awareness.
What is the best advice you can give to us 8 and 9-year-olds?
I think it's so important to care about people who you may not see every day, right? We're very lucky. I live in Cerritos just like you, right? And so all the people around us go to good schools like Leal, right? And they have teachers who care a lot about them. And their parents, for the most part, have jobs where they go and they're treated well and they come home and they have enough money to put food on the table and to maybe even go to the movies once in a while, right? And maybe take a trip to Disneyland and do those things. And there are lots and lots of people in the world who don't get to do that. And I think it's really, really important not just to care about the things in your own little world, but to think about the things in the rest of the world and to really want to share the things you have with other people so that there's more fairness across the people in the world.
This is my favorite question. Last but not least, what was your favorite hobby when you were 8 years old?
I don't remember, McKenna. I don't remember. I was never as wonderful and talented as you, but I think I liked a lot of the same things you like. I liked to dance. I know I've seen you dance in performances. And I used to dance in performances sometimes. I was a tap dancer. And I would play the piano, but I didn't really like that very much. I would often cry when I had to practice. I think what I really discovered when I was in 3rd grade was how much I loved to read. I thought it was really, like reading just opened up all these new worlds to me, right? All these things that I had never thought about before. And I really liked doing that. And so I think it made me want to read, and that was something I loved my whole life.
Thank you so much for your time.
Are my children making you laugh?